All right, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to Energy Hub TV, your one-stop channel when it comes to everything that's to do with energy, geopolitics, and of course, economy. So today we are going to be looking at something that is quite interesting and that impacts the globe. Basically, we're going to be looking at geopolitics, crude oil price, and the Nigerian economy, because of course we have some very significant geopolitical tensions and news that we may want you to know about and how it affects you as a stakeholder in the Nigerian economy. I have with me a very special and regular guest, Dr. Felix Abefori. So, sir, today we just want to
It's a pleasure.
We just want to quickly hit the road with a very quick question. I know everybody is listening and they want to know how this impacts Nigeria, the current Russia and Ukraine, tussle, this tension. We want you to give us your views. Where do you think it's going to?
It's okay. Thank you so much. Once you are in the oil and gas community, you'll be interested in what is happening. Russia is a superpower. Russia, was part of the United Soviet, USSR, and USSR was a a subcontinent. Even up to today, Russia is a subcontinent. It's massive in terms of landmass, with population of above 100 million. In terms of military power, Russia is next to the US. They are very equipped. Unfortunately, Russia is not a very strong economy. It's not a very strong economy. The economy of Russia is quite low. It's just about 1.6 trillion dollars, which is almost like half of the UK economy. Of 3 trillion. So, in terms of economic power, Russia is not a very strong country, but they have energy power. They have oil and they have gas. So where they are using that plus their military might, combining their energy power plus their military power to cause distraction. And then I must also say that Russia is not doing this because they are Russia, but they are doing this because their neighbor, the Chinese, are also not pro-West.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the Chinese and the Russians recently, just within this crisis, Russian companies went and signed, energy, deal with China. So the Chinese are the second biggest economy globally. As an entity, working and chasing to overrun the U.S. So Russia believes that China will not let the West squeeze it. But the present issue about Russia and Ukraine is not a today issue. Russia still has that mindset that while the Soviet Union is broken down, they want to wield the power of the Soviet Union. The CIA, the Commonwealth of Independent States, those other Soviet blocs that broke out. Of course, the world was watching. They took a small Crimea. And so, they are trying to see how they can get some influence around those independent states. And so, of course, Ukraine is also developed. And now what is this present noise? Is that Ukraine wants to join NATO. And NATO is more of a Western, geopolitical, military, security, platform. And Russia is worried that if Ukraine joins NATO, NATO can have a base in Ukraine. And NATO have a base in Ukraine. For Russia, Russia believes NATO is US. You understand? So the US will just come to next door neighbor and put its own satellite on so close that before Putin sneezes, the US will be all over Moscow. So, you know, but the sovereignty of Ukraine is not reporting to Russia. Ukraine is not in USSR. Ukraine is an independent state. So why would you say, no, you don't want Ukraine to be in NATO? And that's what the Western countries are telling you, stupid. It's not you. I just listening to commentary on CNN. He said, look, NATO needs to stand up. Ukraine President Poland and the Lithuania were addressing. He said, look, listen, you can't allow this because independent countries should have their sovereign rights to belong. You are not Russia. You are not USSR. So why will they stifle your sovereignty in participating for whatever benefit you want to get? Now, it doesn't make sense. But Russia, I was listening to Putin this morning, was addressing, he said, the security, the safety of the Russian people, he will protect it. No, but you are doing it on the wrong platform. You are doing it on the wrong platform. And Russia was a $2 trillion economy before. It crashed to, now with all the sanctions that they are placing, Russia is going to be squeezed out. You understand? It's going to be squeezed out. Now, US is aligning with its partners to ensure that Europe has the energy supply. So, I think it's just like we're just going to be watching, we're just going to be watching, but will Russia be stupid enough to do something that it thinks? I don't think it's stupid enough. Ukraine is not Crimea.
Yeah.
You understand? It's not just a pocket of people. Now there are two independent regions, that Russia quickly now moved to receive them. No, you can't. You are not UN. What's wrong with this Russia president? So it's very, you understand? He's now moving in to say these are the Russian separatists from Ukraine. He's identified them as independent states. Who told you? You don't have that right. Anyway, so that is the whole story. Russia is trying to see if they can play back the USSR. But what Gorbachev did, Glasnost and Perestroika, it's going to stay. You can't bring them together anymore. These guys have tasted Western civilization. They've tasted that as if you're free, you are going to prosper. Prosperity is freedom. So you cannot annex them again. You cannot intimidate them into your communist ideology, into your narrow-minded, structure. Okay. I mean, I remember way back when we were in the university, we were watching the Russian literature. USSR was spending almost 600 billion. I mean, way back in the 80s to block airspace, TV. You can imagine how much money they are spending just to make sure there's no foreign news. You can't continue in a liberal society. And I do not think Putin knows what he's heading up to. So, I mean, that is just, some comments.
Okay. I'm looking at what you said now. We are in a very modern time where access to energy and even ownership of energy can actually influence power, warfare, and even intelligence. How do you think this will affect energy supply? This whole drama right now, how will it affect energy supply, and particularly Europe itself? How will it affect it?
No, Europe is first world. Now, I think if you look at the energy mix of Europe, they're almost 30, 40, 50% renewable. So what I see is this: Europe is quite, visionary people. They are going to. They know these things will happen. Russia supplies about 40% of, you understand? They know it will happen. Of course, fortunately, US with LNG, US is of energy. So US is moving its LNG, with its partners, in Asia to ensure that, they are arranging contracts to ensure that they can supply Europe. But I can assure you, Europe is going to go full blast renewable. They are going to ensure, I was just looking at a recent, information. They are really moved. They are the most, apart from China, they are well advanced in investment in renewable. Besides the climate problems, the energy transition, all of these geopolitics that bring them under unnecessary pressure will also add to their push into the transition to ensure that they are independent in their energy supply. And renewables will allow you to be independent. They are working so hard, wind, solar, to make sure that they can maintain the economy. So what I see is that, further push, though US is, a brother to continental Europe. So definitely US will do, but of course, it's going to also affect the global economy. You understand? Because now, you are going to cut off Russian supply.
Okay.
You are going to cut off, Germany just that Nord Stream pipeline. They've stopped. You understand? It's a major, pipeline that will supply energy to continental Europe. So, all of that eventually will tell on the global economy. Now, the question is, will OPEC, Russia is also part of the OPEC Plus, they're also part of the OPEC Plus. So it's going to play out on a bigger picture on alignments. Those who are not aligned with Russia, but yet Russia is part of the OPEC Plus, you understand? And then, those who are aligned to the West, how they are going to do the energy balance to make sure that whatever is missing from Russia is supplied by the rest. Of course, US has capacity to pull up with the oil price going, to 90. Almost everybody is now watching at 100. The shale industry will just come up, and then build capacity. The Middle East, UAE, all of them are building up capacity in terms of production.
Right.
It may not be an instant. You can't replace the Russian volume, but with time it will probably level. But oil price is what will tell, because I do not see oil price with this tension. I do not see oil price going anything south of 90. And then can the global economy, survive on $90-$100 price? For we're going to talk about that, because those are some of the dynamics that you want to be looking at.
Okay. I know you already made mention of some efforts to salvage the situation, or maybe support Europe and probably maybe minimize Russia's influence in this whole thing. But let's put this in a bit of context. What in the event that there is a war that actually happens right now, although we don't want that to happen, but let's just imagine, what are the backup systems that will be put in place?
Will there be war? If you ask me, will there be war? Of course, there is war.
Of course.
Because war, no. Let's break down the concept of war. Wars are wars of words. It could be economic war, political war, before you go to the real battle with guns, warfare. You understand? So I do not think it will involve shooting of a war, the West versus. No, I think the world is not in that, because presently the Chinese president also is waiting for opportunity to, they utilize the COVID.
Okay.
You understand? So that is another war.
Oh, okay.
The pandemic war was actually to cripple the Western economy so that China will quickly build up and dominate. So there are all kinds of cold, silent, warfare, secret warfare. But I do not think it will escalate to missiles flying from one place to the other. It's the world is probably not ready for
beyond that already.
You understand? I do not think it will come to that. I think it will only create more geopolitical alignment between the Eastern Bloc. But unfortunately, the Eastern Bloc, the people that are really messing up this is China and Russia. Japan is not part of them. You understand? The Japanese are pro-West. You understand? So the North South Korea is pro-West. The other North Korea has no significance. They just be doing missile tests every 2 weeks just to every 2 weeks. So for me, it's not really going to be a blown up. But it's also good that what they are planning, what the United States and Europe and their allies in Asia are planning, in the event, unlikely event, that you have some madman somewhere doing the wrong thing, what will happen? What will happen? This is what is likely to happen. If there is a war, another question you need to ask is this: what kind of war? Because this is not Afghanistan. That is why I have this sense there will be no war. Well, this is not Afghanistan. This is not Iran, Iraq. Iran is even more advanced. This is not Iraq. This is not Afghanistan. These are people with nuclear warheads. These are people who are trying to dominate one another. Even though the warheads of US is far, not the warheads of Russia and all that, the question is, do you want to deploy warheads? Does the world require? Because Russia is a superpower. China is a superpower. Europe. So do you think these people will enter into their control room and press the wrong button? That is what I'm thinking. I don't think it will get to that. I think it will be, all this Muslim economic war. And then, of course, Russia was boasting they have about $600 and something billion reserve. And then they are managing they are now doing austerity measure, reducing their expenditure in the event that there is total. Now they are moving away from Western dominance. Their reserve of that 680 billion, only about 16% are in US dollars. So they're also pulling out of dollar domination and all that. But the truth is this: in the energy place, people are already planning. The US is serious. US have enough capacity. The only thing, like Biden and others, the only thing is that it's going to affect the economy of the US. It's going to create energy price. It's going to escalate energy price. And once the price of energy goes up, you understand, technically all input energy, everything is energy dominated. Everything will rise. The price of goods will rise. And then, of course, once the price of goods rises, definitely, though there is a model that is said that if energy prices go up, it will bring more people into the energy business to increase the volume. But you just take probably a span of about 6 months or so that if the price goes to 100, it will be so profitable that the number of rig counts will increase. Investment will increase, but it's not all investment that will be 6 months. Some will take a long time. But as we speak, there is a lot of investment going on in fossil fuel, regardless of the... So I would think that if there is a war, which is what it is now, but if there is any escalation to war, the global economy will shrink. The global economy will shrink. Okay. Because definitely, there will be an alignment. Because also remember that if there is war, Russia is on this side of the block, China is there, Japan is there, South Korea is there. And Japan, South Korea are on this side of alignment. So there will be tension. Economy will suffer because everybody now will tend to protect himself. Yeah. So productivity will be stampeded because of what is economic production when you have to defend the sovereignty and the security of your land. But then one thing I know will be certain is this: a lot of non-Russia, China people will go into massive production of oil and gas. That is for sure. At $100, if there is crisis with Russia, I can tell you within 6 months, there is a likelihood to flood the market and the price will come down to 60, 70.
Okay. And there is no how anyway that this will not affect the energy business. All these political decisions that people at the top have already made. But however, we need to also appeal to, or maybe enlighten those who are stakeholders in the energy business. For example, how will this affect, or how is it even already affecting crude oil prices? And where do you see this going in terms of the crude oil?
No, see, like I said, the global economy cannot survive on higher crude oil price because it's energy driven. Fossil fuel is still dominating the economy. So when and many people are in debt, you understand, many people are in debt. So all of the buying, how many countries are producing the oil? More countries than, you understand. So those who are buying will buy it at a premium. And if they buy it at a premium, the economy will suffer. You understand? So Nigeria will say, okay, fine, $100 price for Nigeria, right? But Nigeria, we don't have refinery. We import a petroleum product. So if you are not careful, a country like Nigeria will be selling, petrol for 1,000 naira.
I was about to even come.
Yeah, you understand? So if everybody produces oil, well, of course, there will be no market.
Of course.
You understand? Everybody will be drinking is, or maybe the cheaper one will sell to the other one, which are for comparative advantage in economics. But then, you have more people buying oil at $100, $110, even at this $90 is not really. People are struggling. They are telling OPEC to pump more oil, but OPEC says no. It's 400,000. We're going to add. We're not going to add 1 million. We don't want to just collapse. Inventories are going down. You understand? So obviously, I think at some point, if Russia is going to go out, which is part of the OPEC plus, some countries have to pump up. Saudi may probably have to replace. Of course, these people are coming. Iran. You understand? People will increase to probably take out Russia supply in the world market. You understand? And then probably see if we can increase and maintain oil at, for me, I think if oil is at 70, 80, it's a better global economy than at 100.
Okay. Some way we tend to overlook some things, but we look at that most of our socio-political destinies are even determined by what these big powers do. In a nation like Nigeria, I think there's already some PMS scarcity already safe. If we now factor in a possible increase in crude oil prices, how will that impact the Nigerian economy?
No, I think for me, the Nigerian economy is already struggling. I've always said that Nigeria had no reason to say that the economy grew by 3.5%. That should be the economy of the US. You understand? That should be the economy of US. That should be the economy of the developed countries. But because of artificial intelligence and new technologies, they are also pushing the economy beyond borders. They are growing at 6-7%. So why should a developing economy be growing and be happy at 3.5? Nigeria should be growing at 10-15%. When China said it was growing at 14-15%. There is a lot to grow. So we should not be happy that we are growing at 3.5%. The economy is already in distress. Nigerian economy, even at 3.5, is distressed. It's distressed economy. You understand? Because I keep arguing with people that say, listen, the government should face facts. A country like Nigeria, where there is no power, there is no road, there is no infrastructure, you should be growing at 10, 12, 15. Because it's still, our tourism is not working. You understand? So, 3.5%, you understand, is for those saturated. And today, I don't think there is any economics. Today, new technologies are loosening. When the US is growing, quarter growing at 5, 6, you want to ask yourself, where are they growing to? UK, where is UK growing to? And why is Nigeria not growing at 10? Why should advanced economy grow more than the developing economies? You understand what I'm saying? Where the developing economies have more room for, you understand? They have more room for expansion, while the advanced economies are using technology. It's no longer the economic theory of land, labor, and all that. Now it's technology, AI, artificial intelligence, economy. Nigerian economy is still very, is sluggish. So if oil goes to $100, the pump price, because we don't have refinery. If we have refinery, we can refine our own crude. You understand? But we don't have refineries. They are doing swap. Okay, now they are going to bring refined product from outside. So definitely the landing cost will increase. Of course, the GMD of an NPC Limited have said, oil might go to 3 something, petrol. So we wake up in the morning, petrol pumping price, and they keep comparing us to other countries that don't have oil. That we are the cheapest. No, we are not the cheapest. We have the volume of oil. We have reserves. We have everything to sell oil, petrol price like the Middle East. You understand? Not like those who don't have. Why would you compare Nigerian pump price to a country that is importing? You understand? We produce and sell, then import, when we should have our refineries working. So what will happen is this: the Nigerian population will suffer because number one, we don't have grid electricity. Everybody use diesel and petrol. So the cost of power, energy, will move. I think we're talking about 40%. It will probably go to 60%. And if the cost of energy goes to 60%, what is remaining for profit? Yeah. So the man on the street will have to pay for the additional, house rents will go up. Transportation from one bus stop to another bus stop will go up. And then a loaf of bread will probably be selling for 3,000 naira. You understand? So that is what will happen. So I think the government needs to have, but is there a short-term solution? Honestly, I don't think there's a short-term solution because the refineries are not working, and the refineries are under maintenance. Yeah. And then I was looking at when all of them will come into stream back into operation. So it's not a short-term thing. So Dangote refinery, they said it's August, hopefully this year. I hope it comes. And that Dangote is export, but I just hope that the federal government that bought, I think, 20% of it, whether Dangote will refine that 20%, which is crude, and then pump it back into the Nigerian market. You understand? So that we can have peace instead of import. But Dangote probably is going to sell it to you at foreign price. I don't think Dangote will sell it to you at any Nigerian price. Okay. Because he borrowed a lot of money to build that plant. So I don't think you will sell it to you because you are a Nigerian. But let's hope that maybe the importation cost will be off and we'll just sell it at net.
Okay, and you already said something about Dangote maybe selling that way. How, if you look at a nation like ours that is always importing petroleum products, despite the abundance of crude oil, are we now going to say, okay, if we look at it, the whole thing, how will it impact that kind of importation that we're already known for and the subsidy regime itself?
No, you see, that is the vicious circle. If now IMF, everybody is saying Nigeria should take off subsidy, now, it's you have 4 refineries, 445,000 barrels, enough capacity if they are running. You understand? To though there is an argument over, the liter per day, 100 something. I don't see Nigeria consuming 100 something million liters a day. Even the minister was reading where they are not sure what are we really doing, 35 or 40 or 50 or 100. That is a significant range apart. You understand? So the truth is this. Dangote will buy the crude. Maybe it will import. We will buy. An NPC will give their crude to Dangote to refine. Now, what I think is that will Dangote say, okay, you know what? Because you're a partner to me, because you have 20% equity and I'm getting crude from you, okay, I'm going to knock off all the landing costs and I'm going to sell it to you just this price, so that it doesn't become like 340, 350. Maybe Dangote finally will sell it to us at something that will help, but I do not think Dangote will sell it to us anything less than more than 10-20% more than the landing cost of what we are getting now. But what is the answer? We have how many like modular refineries? You understand? So why is it that up till now we have not come to the reality that we need to refine our crude? So I do not see, honestly, if you ask me, I don't see a short-term solution. I do not see any solution this year. If Dangote refinery comes on stream in August, fine. If it doesn't, Nigerians are going to pay the premium for this $100 Russia-Ukraine.
Okay. I hate to say it, but sometimes when the world powers catch cold, the growing economy sneeze. Honestly, what will now be the way forward for Nigeria in all this? What's the way forward?
No, for Nigeria, let me tell you, it's a long... Nigeria, it has to be like overhauling. Nigeria is going through a lot of hydra-headed issues that is not allowing the country to focus on growth. You understand? We have, of course, this year, I'm not sure this year is a governance year. This year is a political transition here. APC is working hard to make sure that as Buhari leaves, another APC president goes in. You understand? But then they're also having issues of, the Igbos, the Yorubas, and all that, constitutional review, trying to be a nation, one people with one vision. You understand? You have issues of River State and federal government fighting over VAT. So you get a challenge. The challenges are enormous. To be able, because a country can only focus on growth and development when they all agree to work together.
Yeah.
When they believe that they have, Nigeria needs to agree that as a country, they have an external threat. Do all the 36 states believe that there's an external problem? You understand? Do everybody agree that Nigeria existence is threatened, and therefore with this Russian and all that, let's come together as a country to say what happened to us? But whatever that is going to happen to us, because anything that is leaving Ghana is coming to Nigeria. It's not coming to Lagos. It's not coming to Port Harcourt. It's not coming to Inewi. That's the problem I have. It's coming to Nigeria, and it has to come into Nigerian territory. So it's an international trade. It's not Ghana trading with Lagos. It's not Ghana trading with Onitsha. It's Ghana trading with Nigeria. River states cannot import petrol as river states from another country. River state has to come under Nigerian territory. So that is the problem I have. So which one is most important? And that is the problem that I see we are facing, where we all come together and say, listen, we have an external enemy.
Something bigger than us.
Something bigger than the internal squabbles. Can we concentrate on how to be a nation? But I'll probably laugh at that question, because they probably will tell you we are not even a nation, so why should we concentrate? We are fighting to go our separate ways.
Wow.
You understand? So it's even better. Let's see if this one will split us. But that is a joke. We can't split. I think it's probably difficult for Nigeria to split. We are better being one. We need to the political leadership needs to understand that we are better being one. We are stronger being one. We are richer being one. You understand? I believe deeply that if we can just understand that there is, because I've always asked this question, who is Nigeria competing with in the global frame? Who is Nigeria benchmarking its economic growth? Who is Nigeria benchmarking its military power with? Who is Nigeria benchmarking, you understand, its infrastructure? When Nigeria decides to sit down to say, let us do railroads, who is it trying to impress in the Committee of Nations, even on the African continent? Because you have to have somebody. Today, America, whatever America is doing, before you used to look at Europe, but whatever America is doing now, is doing it with a Chinese mind. Please don't let the Chinese see this. You understand? No, don't let the Chinese get here, because they will want to run us out of our dominance. Who is Nigeria secretly battling our economy? That is what we need to do. Who are we benchmarking ourselves with? Because with a country that has potentials of producing 4 million barrels of oil per day, what are we doing with that? With a country that has 200 trillion cubic feet of gas, proved reserves, with almost 600 that is still, there, that we can also go explore and improve. If Nigeria put all our gas resources, we're probably number 4 global in the world. And gas is the cleaner of the fossil fuel family. So gas can sustain. I was reading the president saying Nigeria is going to explore more gas. No, it's not on newspaper. It's not a wish. We need to demonstrate that, listen, Nigeria needs to transit to gas. And if we need to transit to gas, what happens? So those are the things. The economy, I just hope that the political environment of the country will be properly aligned for us to have an external focus as a country. You understand? So whatever we are doing, we are not struggling with regional struggles. We are dealing with external aggression. We are dealing with the existential threat. We are dealing with things that are outside of this country, that can really deal with us as a country. So what Ukraine and what Russia is doing, it will snowball. Everybody is planning. If it goes out of hand, what happens? If it goes out of shape, what happens? Our LNG is there, you understand? We were working on 27, but even that 27 is relatively you understand, it's way back. It's way back. How do we become a dominant LNG? How do we increase our power so that we can move away from diesel into grid power? How do we do all that to be able to come out so that these external threats will not just collapse the economy? We need to be focused how to protect. That's what Russia man is saying. He said he's going to protect Russia. We need to protect Nigeria. We need to protect Nigerian sovereignty, Nigerian economy, Nigerian sustainability. And we need to do that as a people. Honestly, I believe that there's a lot to be done in this country. I believe that we can get past this if people continue to realize that there's an external threat. Even on the African continent, we are no longer the voice of Africa. We've lost that dominant role in Africa. Small countries like Rwanda, Ghana, Kenya is making now Congo Democratic have joined the East African. East Africa is trying to be, a federation, East African Federation. So that will put, if East Africa become a federation, then I can tell you that Nigeria will be out of existence in terms of African politics, because they will rule. You understand? Then if East Africa become a federation, you know what's going to happen? The Southern African people like South Africa will also team up. The Nigerian voice will just be a whisper. So those are things that Nigeria should be worried about. That listen, even the African continent that we say we are the giant, another giant is coming out to tell us when we go for a meeting, to tell us, sorry, please, Nigeria, please, can you just hold
there's
on?
a Ghana passport now that is.
You understand? They just tell you stop. So those are the things I worry. But when you look at this continental geopolitics and all that, I said, Nigeria, are we paying attention to all of these pressure points that are coming to stifle your giantism? You know, if you really want to play giant, you need to do it well.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for your insights. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this segment. You know, it's very important that you get expert insights on what is happening in the world around you so that you can use them to make more informed decisions. And that is why we are here at the Energy Hub TV to bring this kind of discussions to you, discussions that will give you foresight, depths, and better insights for your decision making, be it in business and in the industry generally. You can subscribe, like, and share this content. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
It's a great pleasure.